Hey everyone, it's Jennifer Roberts here, and I am the Podqueen. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about the Bible. Huge book, right? I'm going to cover the whole thing in 5 minutes. No, not really, just kidding. No, one of the guys on our team just mentioned to me about how he's seeing the Bible, the people in the Bible as real characters. And so I want to talk about that for a minute because to me that's what profoundly impacts my life. When I read the Bible, especially, the story of David or Joseph or Daniel, Mary, different people, I'm reading it and I'm going, whoa, I need to get in that story with them because it really happened. Sometimes we read a story and we don't have the impact of that story because we're just thinking, oh, it's just a book and it's not real. But I want you to know those are real people that really have those situations. And so, I love the story of Joseph. I've talked about Joseph a ton. And, you've heard me speak about him and the journey that he went on, of being betrayed by his brothers. First of all, being an arrogant 17-year-old, having a dream, communicating with his family that one day they will bow to him. That's just crazy, right? And then you see the process that he goes through, becoming purified, becoming strengthened, becoming tested, and even having those dreams come true. But the whole journey was crazy and long and slow and difficult and had highs and had lows. And that's the way the Lord likes to do it. He likes real life stories. That's why he uses real life people. And so I just want to pause on the section of Joseph's story about the time when he was thrown in the dungeon. So he was sold into slavery by his brothers. He ended up in Potiphar's house. He was elevated to second in command, in charge of everything, and he was a righteous man. But in that house, it said that Potiphar's wife casted longing eyes at him. No. So she desired him, he refused her, and then she falsely accuses him of rape. Awful. He's thrown in prison. He is there. It says the Lord was with him. So sometimes on your journey, you can't see which side is up, which side is down, because it's hard. When you get thrown in prison, when you're in a prison season, you just know it feels painful. It's hard to see the purposes of God in it sometimes, especially when you know you didn't do anything wrong to get there. Joseph did everything right, and he ended up in prison. He's falsely accused. He's there, but when it says the Lord was with him in prison, that's what you want to hear the Lord say. You want to know that he's with you in your prison sentence, in that difficult season. And so that was Joseph's story. So he's elevated even within that context of prison. And he becomes one of the heads in the prison, is given charge over all the prisoners. And so now another person has a dream. And so he's able to interpret the baker and the cupbearer's dreams accurately, like crazy accurately. One of them's executed. That's a bummer. Sorry for him. Oops. And awful. I shouldn't make light of that because that was a real person, like I said earlier. Anyway, but it really happened. So he really predicted that. The other situation, the cupbearer was restored into Pharaoh's court. So crazy. On his way up the stairs, Joseph says to the cupbearer, hey, remember me, right? Remember me. Now, if I were Joseph, I would be thinking, he's going to remember me tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm getting out of prison. But he didn't. 6 months goes by. 9 months, a year, 2 years goes by, and then Pharaoh has a dream. The cupbearer remembers him and then brings Joseph out of prison to interpret the dream, and you know the end of the story. But the point is this: sometimes you're in a prison, you have a hope that hits your heart. There's hope that you're going to be released, and I want you to know you will be. Sometimes it feels like false hope. I imagine that Joseph felt that. I'm sure there was some false hope, like tomorrow I'm getting out of this dungeon, and it wasn't tomorrow. It was 2 years later. So take courage today. God has a plan to deliver you. God has a plan to release you from prison. His timing often is not our timing, but His timing is perfect and His leadership is perfect. So don't lose heart today if you're in a prison sentence. You will be released. I know you will. That's what the Podqueen thinks.